Round of applause for everybody born 2005. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. And generally, when it comes to posts and videos like this, we are cut off. And this is why I'm reacting to this one. We're always cut off because it always chooses 2004. It's like anything after 2004, and then it's a diss. It's so weird when we're right there. And it's kind of a weird cutoff to choose 4 instead of 5. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it go 5, 10, 15, 20. Like, why not go by 5s? But, you know, I never understood the division. We all we could be lucky. We can all be lucky together. 2006, 2004, let's all hold hands together and really rejoice as one and stop dividing ourselves as people.
If you were born before 2006, you're lucky. And I think it's funny because I actually changed my camera angle, but in the background, there's an anime, tapestry, whatever the fuck that's called, from Death Note. The anime Death Note. That was actually made in the year 2006, so I wasn't even planning on that. That just happened. But it actually fits perfectly in my conversation I want to talk about with you guys. If you were born before 2006, you're very lucky.
Right.
And I had this conversation with my cousins and some of my, just other family members, because we were all born in that area, like 1996 through 2005. It was like my family's age range, and the family members I'm close with. And I think the reason this was the final good generation, I'm not saying there won't be good people within it, but the reason it's the best is because we were the last generation that wasn't growing up with doom scrolling and brain rot. So even if we did have our own form of brain rot, it was shit like fucking Fred Figglehorn, okay? Like in 2007 on YouTube, like we were already like mature enough to think. And even then, most of our free time was spent on consoles like the GameCube or the Nintendo DS. Okay, so that form of consumption was way more creative and way better. And although
I actually never had a GameCube, I thought that was like way before. But 3DS, yes.
The generations before us probably had it even better. There was less technology based. The reason this is the last good one is because we learned about technology, but we didn't get consumed in the way that some of these other kids are, where it's just genuinely ruining their mind.
That's what I was saying.
And, like, there's going to be a whole generation of kids nowadays, and even like post 2006, where all these people are just addicted to vape, addicted to doom scrolling. All they do is waste their time. And so there's going to be a whole generation of these kids that are just coping through different ways. And there are going to be a lot of failures and probably a lot of bad things that come from that we don't even know the repercussions of.
Yet, because they're not old. And that's the crazy part. It's like, do you want to wait until these people with the BBLs and these people that have been vaping and wait until they get old? Because right now everybody's young, so it's like we don't have a good example of what's going to happen. Of course, in the moment, it doesn't seem like a problem, but didn't this already happen? Niggas used to think smoking cigarettes was okay. The generations before us already had this happen to them, so that we did it. And then I remember when like vapes was like branded as e-cigarettes, and when it first was said like that, I was like, nobody's falling for that shit. Growing up, Derek came to the class and they already told us about cigarettes and what terrible shit it does to the body, nicotine and I'm like, who's falling for that shit? And lo and behold, y'all are falling for that shit. So,
and so, a lot of people like in my age range, they're focused on geopolitics or politics just in general. I say geopolitics is whatever, but these people that are so consumed online, like people that are in my generation that are hyper obsessed with scrolling online, they think that we're in the worst time on earth, which it really just depends on how you look at it. A lot of these people who say that are living some of the most comfortable lives ever, and they just see videos on Instagram and think their life sucks. In reality, these people have way more freedom and opportunity than a lot of people around the world. So it's like, what the fuck are you complaining about? But these people don't realize how they've been less indoctrinated than most people, and they have the freedom to not be into so many addictions that the next generations will be. And I think that also we were the last, I want to add this point, we are early enough to technology to where we can create something with it. So like I mastered video editing and I turned that into a career.
We
have the ability to understand technology as opposed to like these fucking millennials that have like no swag on social media whatsoever. And but we're not so
it's such a random straight no swag. Y'all ain't got no swag. I know I got some older viewers. I'm sorry that y'all ain't got no swag when it comes to this technology shit. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their thing. Y'all can do some shit that we can't, I'm sure. You could play a mean game of chess and we can't.
Into technology
you know
that
what I
we
mean?
can't.
Let me not speak for all of us though, because I'm sure some of my niggas can. In the back, I got some sharpshooters that know how to play some chess. You feel me? Anywho's,
interact with the world the way we're supposed to. So we had experiences enough like going outside as a kid. A lot of these kids like don't even go outside. They're just chronically on an iPad. Like the iPad kid memes are more prevalent than ever. Like I have cousins, and I'm not sure. These are like my little cousins, like 5 through 8 years old.
5 below.
They're like
5. Okay.
Good at video games, like VR video games. So like a lot of these kids are spending time on VR, like literally their fucking mind is just trapped in this virtual world.
Not too much because I have it too.
As opposed to just going and fucking around outside.
Yeah.
And I know that
there's a balance
when I was
to it.
a kid, and that was like the beginning of YouTube. Like, so I was born in 2001, and that was right as YouTube was created. It was 06. So I was like old enough to, digest it, but also like take part in it. So like when we were kids, we would like go outside like under a tree and film YouTube videos. Like, just it wasn't anything good. Literally. It was like skits or whatever, but that was how we interacted with online stuff, and I think that's way healthier than VR. And fucking these kids are good. So many people are just addicted to vapes. People from my generation
There's an addiction
the next generations
with everything.
Like,
addicted to vapes, addicted to gambling, addicted to there's so much. Everything's fighting for your attention, and all of it's fighting to keep it forever. So then everything, at least one of them turns into an addiction, literally. But it's really about a balance of it. You know what I'm saying? I have an Oculus, but am I in VR chat 24/7? Like, do I spend more time in VR chat than I do in the real world and going outside and interacting with real people? No. And that's the issue. It's like they kind of get engulfed into it because but with the YouTube shit for sure, because when I was growing up, being a YouTuber, that's all I ever wanted to be. So it was like walking around vlogging everything, because it was like, oh, I'm gonna put this on YouTube and I'm gonna be like PewDiePie, and I'm gonna be like like that.
Fucking Baba, their fucking baby bottle is a fucking vape. Not saying, never mind. I'm not gonna explain that thought, but basically where I'm getting at is that if you were born before 2006, you probably lived a good enough childhood to understand how to react with the world in person, and you probably, hopefully,
we got the best of both.
Have more.
That's the sweet spot. See, what he's saying is we hit that sweet. A round of applause again. We hit that sweet. Thank you. We hit that spot. You know what I mean? Where it's perfect in between. We got the technology while also having it where we know how to interact with the real world.
Social awareness.
Yeah.
Than a lot of the kids now growing up. And so with that, you should utilize the blessings you've been given in the time frame you were born.
Do something with
it. And so you having the ability to understand technology and also interact with people in the real world, you should create something with that.
Use it to our advantage,
like basically. A weird topic of the day, and it only relates to a certain amount of people. But I think it's very interesting for a lot of people that were born in my generation. It's something that's been on their mind. And don't be so pessimistic, because like I said, a lot of people that are super negative and view politics and stuff online in my age range, they think that their life sucks, but in reality, your life is way better than the next generations are going to be.
Right.
And they're going to have issues that would make yours look stupid in comparison. And so view that as a blessing.
There's people being born today that you can only pray for how their childhood's going to go.
I think that's Gen Z, right? We were the last good generation. And I'd rather be Gen Z than a millennial, because we know technology, but we weren't balls deep in it. So that's my yap. I don't know if it's
Decent
lit,
yap.
but I just feel like
Decent
talking about
yap. I feel like this was
Bye.
a good thing to bring up. This was a good.
If you're living in America, you have to tell me
I am
if
living
this
in
makes
America.
any
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a good thing to be brought up. Of course, you see, I'm just happy to be involved, but in reality, everything that was said is very true. I do think it was just that little sweet spot, and the best thing that we can do is utilize it, because pray for every kid that has to grow up in today's society when everything's like, oh, you know, you end up with an 8-month-old with a tablet and shit like that, and then they're gonna be your doctors. I don't want to think about this again. This was like the whole point of the other video. Anywho's, that's the video, and just one more round of applause. Thank you so much. Do it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.